Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that feels like pure magic: AI image generators. You know, the tech that lets you turn a few simple words into these incredible, complex, and sometimes totally wild pictures.
So let's just jump right in and see the magic happen. You type in a simple little phrase, right? Something like a photograph of a donkey on the moon. And boom. In just a few seconds, the AI doesn't go find a picture. No, it creates a whole new one from scratch just for you.
Okay, so how on earth does this even work? Well, at its core, we're talking about something called text-to-image AI. Think of it like this. The machine has studied billions and billions of pictures with descriptions. It's learned the connection between the word donkey and what a donkey looks like, the word moon, and that big rock in the sky. It's like it has this gigantic visual library in its brain, and it pulls all those ideas together to build a brand new picture just based on your words. All right, here's what we've got on tap for this explainer. First, we'll peek under the hood to see how this all works. Then we'll help you pick the right tool for the job. After that, it's all about mastering the prompt. That's key. We'll also get into the really important stuff like safety and copyrights. And we'll wrap it all up by thinking about what this means for creativity from here on out. Okay, let's dive into that first section. How does a machine actually learn to turn words into art? It sounds impossible, right? Let's pull back the curtain a bit. So most of the tools you see today use something called the diffusion process. It's a pretty cool idea. The AI literally starts with a screen full of random noise. Yeah, just a bunch of static, like an old TV that's lost the signal. Then, piece by piece, it starts refining that static, nudging the pixels around, slowly shaping it to match what you asked for. It's like a sculptor finding a statue inside a block of marble, but here, the AI is finding your picture inside a cloud of noise. All right, so we get the how, but now for the big question. What tools should you actually use? I mean, you've got Midjourney, you've got OpenAI's tools, Adobe's getting in the game. It can be a lot. So let's figure out how you can pick the right AI canvas for whatever you're trying to create. You know, the best way to make sense of all this is to think about these tools in a few different categories, or archetypes, because there's really no single best tool for everyone. It's all about finding the right tool for what you want to do. Are you looking for something easy and versatile? A tool for creating jaw-dropping art? Or maybe just something free to play around with?
Okay, if you just want the best all-rounder, something that's super powerful but also really easy to get started with, then you're going to want to look at OpenAI's GPT-4o. It's built right into ChatGPT, and it's pretty much the top pick for that perfect mix of quality and easy to use.
What makes it so great is that it's conversational. You can give it these really long, complex prompts, and it just gets it. But the real magic is how you can tweak the image. You can just talk to it, Say things like, hey, can you make that donkey's helmet a little shinier? Or, cool, now add a few more stars in the sky. It's like you're art directing a computer. But if what you care about most is just pure, stunning, artistic results, then Midjourney is still pretty much the king. People love it because the images it creates don't feel like they were made by a computer. They feel like finished pieces of art. Yeah, as you can see from this quote, Midjourney just has this knack for making images that are incredibly coherent and just beautiful. It's amazing with textures, with colors, with the whole composition of the shot. That's why artists and designers flock to it when they need something that really pops. So at the end of the day, it really just comes down to who you are and what you need, right? If you're just starting out, you might want something free and easy, like Canva or Leonardo AI. But if you're a professional designer, oh man, a tool like Adobe Firefly that works right inside Photoshop, that is an absolute game changer for your workflow. Okay, so you've picked your tool, now what? How do you actually talk to it? This is so important because the picture you get back is only as good as the instructions you give it. And that means we need to talk about mastering the art of the prompt. Look, writing a good prompt isn't some dark art. It's actually a pretty simple process. You just build it up in layers. You start with the basics. Who's the subject? What are they doing? And where are they? Then you start adding the good stuff, the details. Think colors, textures, the overall feeling. And for the final touch, you tell it the style. Do you want an oil painting, a photograph, a wide-angle shot? You're the director. For example, if you just type in a dog, well, you're going to get a dog. It'll be fine. It'll be a picture of a dog. But it's not going to be very exciting, is it? But what if you add all those layers we talked about? The style, the setting, the specific details. Suddenly, you get something like this. A painting in the style of Vermeer of a large, fluffy Irish wolfhound enjoying a pint of beer in a traditional pub. I mean, come on, that is a world of difference. And it just goes to show you are the one in control here. You're the one with a vision.
All right, creating these images is a ton of fun, but once you start using them, especially if it's for work or a business, things get a little more serious. We have to talk about the really crucial stuff: safety, rights, and who actually owns these pictures.
One of the big terms you'll hear thrown around is commercially safe, and this is super important. It basically means the AI was trained only on images that were properly licensed or were already in the public domain. Why does that matter? Because it's designed to protect you from getting into any copyright trouble later on.
And that's a huge deal because, let's be honest, a lot of the other models out there were trained by just scraping billions of images from all over the internet. A lot of the time, that was done without permission from the original artists. And that creates this big, messy legal and ethical problem, not just for the artists, but for anyone who uses the images that come out of those systems. And look, this isn't just some abstract legal thing. It really matters to people. Get this. Data shows that a whopping 87% of consumers think brands should be upfront about it when they use AI images. So if you're using this stuff, transparency is key. People want to know. Which, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question in this whole new world. If you create an absolutely amazing image with AI, can you copyright it? Is it yours? Well, the short answer is probably not. Right now, the U.S. Copyright Office is pretty clear on this. They've said that a work created entirely by an AI can't be copyrighted by a person. Basically, the law sees the machine as the author, not you, even though you wrote the prompt that started it all. So after all that, what's the big takeaway? How should we wrap our heads around this incredible new frontier? There's no doubt that AI is this powerful, incredible new tool for anyone who wants to create something. It really is like a whole new kind of canvas. But it also forces us to ask some really deep questions, doesn't it? Questions about what art is, who owns it, and what it means to be an artist in the first place. Which leaves us with one final big question to chew on. As AI becomes the new canvas, who is the artist?